Hey guys, welcome back. It's Meg. Today we're going to be running a 25 Plaguefall with my Mistweaver. You can find my talent choices in the bottom right, you can find my legendary in the top right, and my stat weights in the top left. This was also one of our break the meta keys. That means that we are running with classes or specs that are all considered to be off meta, and it's mainly just based off of representation, not necessarily performance, which is why you see Havoc, Arcane, and Prop Pally in here. Plaguefall being Mistweaver's best dungeon and Grievous one of the affixes that we handle the best, I was really excited to do this dungeon on such a high key with these affixes because I just wanted to kind of see how Mistweaver could handle it with just that extra bit of damage going out that isn't really preventable. I went ahead and used Fallen Order here just because there is an Inspiring in the group. I didn't want to fall behind on Grievous because we're not going to be stunning or kiting out these or anything, and we are going to be pulling Veruth, which is a 50% healing reduction, into the rest of these slimes. So I step out of melee here to get the last little bit of Fallen Order off, and then we're going to go ahead and start the Executioner. I'm also comfortable committing Crane here because you're not really going to need it until the first boss anyway, and we are not going to head straight into that after Veruth. So we actually don't have a Necrolord in our group today, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be pulling that red slime up top with us so we can benefit from the haste buff by standing in the pool. Mistweaver thankfully can handle that extra amount of damage with Fallen Order and with Crane. We do handle that very well, so that is something that we are going to be doing just so we can make sure that we get that first boss without getting too many of the big slimes. Because this Plaguebinder is inspiring, we're going to go ahead and banish that red slime because we want to keep him alive. We can't kick him up the hill like we normally would be able to with the inspiring ad, so we just go ahead and keep him held off to the side while we kill this. As you can see, I've got 4 Renewing Mists out already, and I'm just going to go ahead and pop Fallen Order and start keeping people topped. I really want to make sure that we are all topped before that Plague Stomp, because as you can see, it does a good amount of your health without a defensive. I'm probably the only one that's in a lot of danger there, so I can look out for myself in that aspect, but I do just want to make sure that no one is missing health going into that stomp. My main focus on this boss was to rotate my cooldowns properly so that we didn't fall behind on Grievous stacks, especially going into one of the stomps. So I'm pretty much just rolling cooldowns back to back here. It goes Fallen Order and then Crane and then back to Fallen Order, and then we also have Revival if we need. On this fight, I think I do end up using Revival. On lower keys, I can usually save it for the slimes afterwards, but I do use it here, and then after Revival, Fallen Order is back up again, so we can continue to use that pool. Mistweaver handles this fight really well, even on such a healer-intensive week with it being Grievous, in addition to using that red slime. We're going to go ahead and pull that purple slime into the barrel after we CC the Plaguebinder. I like to keep my distance on this pull. I really am not a fan of being in melee here. Mistweavers don't do enough damage where they're really going to be missing it, especially with the use of that barrel, but mainly because that corrosive gunk is a pretty nasty disease, and I did use Revival on the first boss, so I don't really have anything to get it off of more than one person. I can dispel one person and heal the other, but I really don't want it on 3 people. am going to use Fallen Order here, and I'm going to use it way back in range just because I don't want them walking up the stairs and aggroing something, because they do have a nasty tendency to do that. So I'm putting them a little bit further away. I also rang that Plague Borer out. I didn't realize that they wanted it in. I was trying to keep it out for the Inspiring so we could make sure that we could stun them before they started running away, the Slime Claws. So that was my bad. They did want it in there, but it ended up working out just fine. A good thing to kind of get in the habit of here too is when you're running Tiger's Lust, and you definitely should be in here, is make sure that you are dispelling your tank when they have a disease and a root, or just the disease, and make sure that you're using Tiger's Lust on someone when they only have the root. That way you have kind of 2 dispels and no one gets stuck in the Jagged Spines. Normally I don't commit cooldowns on Sog, but I decided to here just because it is a Grievous week. I wanted to stay on top of it. Also not really going to be using Crane anywhere for the next Gauntlet area, just because you don't really need it. If anything, you can use Fallen Order, but even then you should be able to get through it without any cooldowns. I do end up losing the Demon Hunter here. I think he got meleeed or he got Wretched Phlegm twice. I wasn't really sure right then, but I do end up using Revival just to dispel both of our diseases from myself and the tank. Other than that, we can get through this without using any other cooldowns. I go ahead and use Fallen Order here just to help maintain the tank some when we have to be moving out of this. You also want to make sure that you're not going to be down where I am right now when new Plague Borers spawn, because they will melee you pretty quickly, so you want to get out of that area when the Plague Borers have blown up already. On lower keys, I've been able to find that I can use either just Fallen Order or just Crane on this guy, but in the higher keys, like once you get to like 24, 25, I felt that I have actually needed both of them. So I usually start out with Crane, that's usually what's up because I use Fallen Order more, and then I can roll into Fallen Order and have that finishing as we're killing the ad. Ickus is going to be jumping over and joining us here shortly. One thing to look out for while you're doing this encounter while pulling the Spinebreaker and the Plague Binder is just make sure that you are not getting rooted in any of the AoEs or the Jagged Spines that are going out, and then you also want to make sure you're looking out for that plus sign of Plague coming out from Ickus when he jumps. But other than that, you just want to stand in the pool for as much as you can and just maintain, keep up on your Grievous, and this boss should be fine. Normally we would have pulled the slime up when we were fighting the incinerator ad, but unfortunately it is inspiring, and inspiring does actually affect the lieutenant mobs. I don't know if it's intentional, but it is annoying, so we just went ahead and left it down here, and we're just gonna pull it with the tentacle like normal. On this pull we do end up getting a slime tentacle somehow. I do lose learn to it, and then I end up dying to one of these biting cold swirlies. After that, the tentacle reset. No one else was in combat with it. I don't really know how it happened, and I after watching this like 6 or 7 times over, I still don't know how it happened, but we end up recovering from this, and it works out just fine. Normally what I try to do on this boss is drop my Transcendence in melee so I can go out and gather some of the spies and then just Transcendence back without getting hit too hard. I did accidentally forget to replace it. You can see it in the top left there, and I do end up using it, and I have to kind of get back into melee pretty quickly so I don't get webbed, but my intention was to Transcendence back into melee after being out there. Unfortunately, the Devoted catch up to our tank here, and they do get him pretty good, but we end up being able to recover from it. They were all pretty low health, so we were able to finish them off. So headed into this boss, I play this the exact same way every single time if I'm able to. That being if we push at the right times and if we are lusting in the second phase. The plan here is Fallen Order for the first drain. For the second, you just heal through it. You can use Mana Tea, or if you have an Innervate, you can use that. The third one is going to be Crane with Lust, and then just heal through it normally. The third one is going to be Fallen Order again, and then the final one is going to be Revival. If you get any more after that, it is just going to be straight healing. You might have Fallen Order up again, but chances are you're just going to have to brute force it. There is our Lust, and here comes Crane. We're going to get ready for this Infectious in a couple of seconds here. That is going to be a little scary because you do have to remember that you have Grievous and you can't really rely on the hot so much, so you do a little bit of overhealing as opposed to efficient healing. But as long as you're keeping everyone topped and you're not losing control of your Grievous or your Plague Ring stacks, you'll be fine. This is going to be Fallen Order again, and we will end up being able to use Revival here because of how much health she has. She will do another Rain. Something you also want to look out here for, where you'll see on my far left you have a Devoted. I have a red nameplate, meaning it's on me. If I were to run over there normally, I probably would have been one-shot by that, so you want to make sure that you either ring or sweep or some kind of CC to save yourself from getting smacked while dodging the tentacles. Alright, and that brings us to the end of our 25 Plaguefall. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to hit me up on Discord, Twitter, or Twitch. You can also comment down below. I'm going to link the FAQ and the Mistweaver guide for 9.1 down there as well. And thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next video.